2 for 30 coming in, still solid performance. Um, I don't know how people feel about this, but I am a fan of the running back by committee. Christian Turner seems to be doing well. In my opinion, this is the committee for running back. Obviously, Zach Charbonnet starts. Then you mix in Christian Turner when you need to. True Wilson, obviously, right in there. You could go Zach, then break off some True, and then get in Christian on not obvious passing downs, right? Because we all know Christian's still kind of suspect when it comes to the blocking. And then Hassan Haskins, okay, mix him in there. After that, though, Van Sumeren, go sell peanuts. The rest of them, we'll see you later. Right now, we need to concentrate on those guys because those guys make plays. Plain and simple, they make plays. They're going to make plays. Our offensive line needs to get better at run blocking, by the way. Great today pass blocking because Shea takes 8 hours to make up his mind on who he's going to throw to. But that could also be our wide receivers not breaking off their route and trying to get open. That's something that needs to happen. Like that, I think that's just something they play through, right? But when your quarterback can't see open guys, which he did once again. So let's just get into the Shea thing, right? Because I know I've been the biggest detractor of Shea for a while. But he did a few things good. He looked like last season's Shea, right? He did. I mean, he had the most passing yards, right, out of his career at Michigan. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 of them running. Right? I think that was right. I think I'm correct in that. Okay, he's good. But he still threw the ball too high on too many occasions. And when he needed to get the ball down the field, he threw it short. Key to interception. Now, Nico Collins has something to bear with that. Just because when you're 6'4" and you're going up against a guy who's 6'1", you should win that battle. Raise your arms up. Don't pull the ball into you. Okay, that's just something you work on and then you just get better at. So I'm sure Nico will learn from it, and he probably won't make that mistake again because I think I'm a big Nico guy. So whatever. Shea still short dicks it. Plain and simple, it doesn't matter. He short dicks it. He was throwing it too high, then he was throwing it too short. But I mean, he made at least he kept the ball a few times, and I think. It was quarterback keep a lot today, but I also think that was set up by the 3 previous weeks where all we did was hand off that same stupid handoff to our running backs. And you could tell Rutgers was just keying on that running back and crashing every time. So Milton and Shea, it was just like they had nobody. They had nobody over there to test them. So now Iowa's going to see that, and they're going to make the adjustments, but that's fine. You got to pick one or the other. Either take Shea or take Charbonnet or Turner or Wilson or Haskins, fine. If our offensive line starts run blocking more and starts blasting some dudes off the line, then we're going to start seeing these running backs start moving it. I think that's mainly just another comfortability thing as well. I mean, they had Higdon, who made one cut and go. Now, I think these guys are a little bit more, cut back, blah, blah, look for the whole type thing. They're not. Charbonnet's close to Higdon, right? He's close. He's still a freshman, so he's still learning. But I think that's just something that the offensive line and the running backs will get in over time. So I'm sure we'll be hitting our stride, hopefully by the Penn State game. Hopefully that running game and the run blocking is just going to mature and get better and better. I wasn't impressed with that. But Shea, I don't think we win more than 10 games this year if Shea's still our guy. Let's say Shea's shook off everything that he's done, right? And he's the Shea of last season. Well, Shea of last season got us 10 wins. And last time I checked, we weren't all happy about that. Now, Shea comes out and throws 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards against Iowa. Maybe I'll change my tune. But we're trying to beat Ohio State here, right? Like, I know we got kind of sidetracked with Jesus. Hopefully we can win 6 games. If this rock is a rolling and we go in and we still have to beat Iowa, We still have to do the work. But if we are back and moving again, like our offense should, like this is how we should have looked against Middle Tennessee State. This is exactly how we should have looked against them. But okay, we needed 3 games. We needed to get smacked down in front of the fucking country in Cheeseland, but whatever. Okay, so this is how we should look. But if Shea doesn't get better, and I mean he's got to be better than last year. Because I mean, let's face it, guys. What do we want? We just want him to do the same shit he did last year. Was that good enough for you? Was that good enough for you? Did that get us anywhere? Did it? It didn't, right? He doesn't play up in big games. He just doesn't. That's why I'm kind of nervous about this Iowa game, and I'm definitely nervous about Penn State. That kid walks into a foreign stadium during a whiteout, which I don't know why the whiteout's such a big deal. I mean, I don't even think Penn State has a winning record in the whiteout, to be quite honest. But it's going to be a night game. More than likely, if we keep winning at that point, it's going to be you'll have college game day there. It's going to be a big thing. Shea doesn't show up for these. So, but I'm not willing to scrap Shea altogether. If he's going to play like he did last year, he's a perfect guy to come in if Joe Milton is spotty. I don't know about. I am a big Christian McCaffrey. I'm Christian McCaffrey. Dylan McCaffrey fan. I am. Run DMC. I'm a big fan of. I don't know if he can pass. Right. This would have been the perfect game to see. I still wasn't a fan that they started Shea. I still think if we're going to have Milton out there, we needed to see what he could do for the majority of this game. Because Shea will come in. All the pressure's off of him. He can be the saving grace if Milton struggles. Boom. And your relief pitcher, man. Everybody loves the relief pitcher. Remember, the Yankees, the hammer of God, right? He comes in, he saves. Mariano Rivera saved I don't know how many games for the Yankees. You know, Wetland, a little weirdo, for the Yankees also. Big-time winner. You know what I mean? Everybody loves the backup. Everybody loves the relief guy. And Shea could do that perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what Milton can do. And you can tell arm strength is massively different between Shea and Milton. I think if Milton gets his feet underneath him and understands what the speed of the game is and he just gets some confidence, I think we're like, this is our Trevor Lawrence. And Shea's our Kelly Bryant. I really do. I've never been just not a fan of Shea. I'm sure he's a great guy. Just not. He short dicks the ball. He doesn't show up in big games. He just doesn't. Go back in our history just with Michigan, even last year when he was doing so great, right? When we needed him the most, he didn't show up. And that's the Ohio State game. Yeah, at home against Penn State and Wisconsin, he did great, and I'll give him that. Absolutely did great last year. Right? Fine. He did that. But when we needed him against Ohio State, he didn't do it. And then he definitely didn't do it against Florida. Defensively, I'll give our defense a pass last year against Florida because we had so many guys missing. But offense, what was his excuse? Milton or Run DMC is our future, and it should be our future now. Use Shea as a relief guy. Have him come in and we'll save some games. Because at least he's stable enough. And say Milton throws like 2 interceptions or something. Bring in Shea. Let Shea calm things down and we'll get moving that way. I just think that's how we need to approach this. Because Harbaugh is getting paid $9 million to win Big Ten titles and get us into the playoffs. He's not, however, getting paid $9 million to help Shea feel better about himself and us win 10 games, which is good. Listen, 10 games is great, but we all want to be national title winners, right? But listen, if you guys only want to be 10-game winners every year, and that's it, and we occasionally beat Ohio State, and we occasionally get into the Big Ten title, let me know. And let me know, and I won't agree with you, because I want to be a Clemson. I want us to make that next step. I really do. And Gaddis took a major step today. Shea just got back to level. I mean, out of all the things we did today, Shea just got back to level. Milton looked good today. Our defense, I think our defense is young, but it's going to be fantastic. I don't know anything else that we can do. Really, I just don't. I think we're going to be better than I thought, only because, Jesus, we look so bad against Wisconsin. But Iowa is next, and that's a big one because that is a poor man's Wisconsin. That is their quarterback. I'm going to say Iowa's quarterback's better than Wisconsin's quarterback just because he has more starts. But everything else is like if Wisconsin's offensive line's at 10, Iowa's is about an 8.5, 9, right? The Wisconsin's running game is off the charts. And by the way, Wisconsin proved it today that they can be beat, and they're not the world beaters. I mean, Northwestern played a so-so game, especially with Hunter Johnson or Hunter Williams, whatever that kid's name is. He's good, but he's not great. And he turned over in key situations. So Wisconsin, yeah, good. Okay, they're good for the East. I mean, they whipped our ass, so they're better than us at the moment. But they're not the world beaters in which they looked like against us. We made them look better than they were. And granted, they're good. So with that all being said, I think this was a great slump buster day. I think it gets the stone rolling, right? It gets the momentum. But listen, we lose to Iowa or we come out and look awful against Iowa, then we're right back to square one. So this only means great for right now, right? And as much as everybody hates the Patriots and Bill Belichick, I think they have the perfect approach to this on to Cincinnati, right? We won, good, fantastic. We take all the positives with all the negatives that we had today, and we move on and we get better. I think Gaddis, him being on the sideline, huge benefit because you get the instant gratification of having him on the sideline. The support, the criticism, the constructive criticism, the game planning, all that happens immediately, and that's what these kids nowadays need. They absolutely need that, and it showed today. So that's the number one takeaway. That was freaking awesome. Before we end, let's go ahead and get with the rest of the Big Ten, right? And I'll be honest, we learned some shit today, right? We really learned some shit today. Well, the other night, Penn State whipped Maryland. So as we all know, Syracuse sucks, and then they played Howard. Who cares? Maryland's awful, but still, it's going to be a fight because it's one of those backyard brawls, man. Loxley and Gaddis are going to be staring at each other, and it's going to be, we'll see who's the best play caller then, right? Everybody jumped the gun with Loxley because Syracuse had a better year last year. They sucked this year. Everybody's like, oh, Loxley. And they've proven it back-to-back weeks. They're no good. No good. Penn State, okay, pretty all right, but I don't think Maryland's that good to begin with. Then Iowa, okay, it's kind of a wash with Iowa and Middle Tennessee State. They only allowed 3 points. But to be quite honest, we only allowed 14. We allowed 21 overall, but that 7 points was in garbage time. Most of our starters weren't in. And we had Shea playing with his head up his ass, and we still scored 40. So our offenses are about even right now. So we kind of get an idea, right? We kind of get the idea. Their defense is decent, so we're going to have to be ready. That's the thing that scares me. How's our offense going to perform? Right? As we see when you get the balls to the playmakers, they make massive